Hey, thank you all so much for being here tonight. Just want to open us in prayer, but before I do, I was reminded as I was watching that, just probably about 4 years ago, Jeremy, when the guy came who spoke and gave us showed us a little app where it counts down how many hours you have left with your kids. And I just remember thinking that time, oh, I got plenty of time. It's still a long way off. Well, I just sent my second one to college last week, and it does really go quick. And it's a reminder to us that not only for our own children, but those who God has invested, trusted, I guess, into our care through the ministry here, that we're limited. We only have a short time, and we need to be sure we use that for His glory and for the good of those to direct them to Jesus. And so thank you so much for what you're doing, and I'm going to open some prayer and bless the food that you already ate, right? Because y'all forgot that, right? Oh, okay, you did that. Okay, all right, I missed that. Okay, it was late. Okay, let's pray. God, we thank you so much for all these incredible heroes, I say, because they take the effort and the time and they go above and beyond to step outside oftentimes their comfort zones, what would be easy, and God, they invest in your kingdom and your word by helping minister to our children. And God, I thank you for them coming alongside families and helping reinforce the things that we are trying to teach at home, and in many cases being a great ear to those who maybe don't have a parent that they can talk to about you and about spiritual matters, God. And I thank you for that. I thank you for the faithfulness for those who have served many years like Miss Ann, and for those who are new on board. God, I pray that you will continue just to encourage us and help us to stay faithful. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. As he said, thank you for being here. I'm going to try to do this. Go around, because I like to walk around. I don't like to be constrained to one spot. So, thank you for being here again. Like he said, you are really heroes for working in children's ministry. It is hard. Children's ministry is hard, and it's also kind of bitter when our kids don't do what we say, right? But in our last kickoff, we talked about, I don't know if you remember, it was like a cooking thing. And I told you that you were the key ingredient in the recipe of Gkids. I don't know if you remember that. Now today, as you can see, it's all about sports. And as you can guess, you are the key player in Gkids. What does that look like? Well, our vision in children's ministry is for the children to know God and leading into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ. But how do we do that? Now, you might think that I know a lot about sports because it's all about sports tonight, and I actually picked the theme of sports. But you might laugh at me if I tell you how much I know about sports. Very little. If you put me right here against Michael Smith, I'll be like, Dad, I have no idea what he will be talking about if he starts talking about sports. But I'm going to attempt to tell you a little bit of what I know about sports. I know that in football, you have a quarterback, you have a runner, and I think the goal of the game is to get the ball from one side of the field to the other side of the field, cross the line without being crushed by a bunch of muscle. Right? That's all I know about football, and I don't think I will ever want to play football. Now, what about baseball? I know baseball, you have a pitcher, you have a batter, and you have a catcher, I think. And the point of the game is to hit the ball as far away as you can, so you can run around a lap and make a lap and score a point for your team. And baseball takes hours, I think. You can spend hours watching baseball. Now, I know a little bit more about soccer. Yeah, I'm from Mexico, right? That's our sport. I know that you have a goalie. It's ready to protect the goalie, right? The arch, I'm not sure the terms in English, but. And now you have the defense team and the defense positions, and then you have the offense positions, and the goal of the game is to take the ball all the way and score. Put it inside the net, and that's how you make a point for your team. That's pretty much what I know of sports. Pretty sad, right? But I do know one thing about sports, and that's what matters. It's all about winning. you know me, I'm a very competitive person, and I always want to be in the winning team. So sports is all about winning. Now, what does that mean to you in Gkids? You are the key player in Gkids, right? How do you win? How do we win in Gkids? What's our game plan? Well, I was reading just the other day, not too long ago, about a statistic that they said that the most influential people in a 10-year-old now these days is their peers, their school teachers and coaches, and after that is social media and TV. Pretty sad. Where are the parents? Where is the church? We are losing our children and the influence that we have in our children, parents, and the church. That is sad. How do we lead our children into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ? Our government is not helping us out. Our schools are not helping us out. You cannot even say the name of God in church or pray. And TV is definitely not helping us out. Have you seen what's on Netflix lately? That's not what we want our children to watch, right? So, what do? We are at a crossroads. This is the point where we as a church need to take a stand and win those children for Christ. The next generation. I've talked to some of you moms, and we always talk about, what does this generation come to? I mean, what are our children going to be seeing and going through whenever they're adults? It's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough for them to stay strong in their faith. And these are your sons, your daughters, your children. The people here at Grace, if you don't have children, it's the children right from the person that is right next to you. Her children, her sons, her daughters, these kids in Bainbridge, Georgia. This is the next generation. This is where it starts. Right here, our families, our church, our city. So what do? How do we win? Well, we believe that when parents and the church get together, that's when the influence happens in our children. Because we know that we as a church, we have an average of 40 hours a year with our children if they come to church, here and there. But parents have an average of 30,000 hours a year with the children. So we combine those influences, the church and the parents together. That's when we're going to win our children for Christ. So what do? What do we do on Sunday mornings? What do we do on Wednesday nights? What's our game plan? Number one, be present. Be present. Show up predictably. Every time you're scheduled, every time, every Sunday, every Wednesday, you're here on your spot. Because you cannot have influence if you don't show up. You cannot win a game if you're not there. You can't. And not just show up physically, but mentally. Engage with those children. Talk to them. Make them have a good time. Make them have fun when they're with you, so they want to come back. Because one of our goals is to partner with parents. We want to make it easy for parents to bring their kids to church. The last thing we want to have is parents dragging their children out of bed because they don't want to go to church. No, we want to make it fun. Yes, I want to go sing to Jeremy. Yes, I want to sing to Mitch. Yes, we have to be engaged and we have to be fun with the children. So that was number one, be present. Number two, be prepared. What does that look like? Well, you study your lesson. You teach them, but you not only teach them, you make them tell you what they learned. Why? Because the first question that parents ask their children when they pick them up is, did you have fun? And the second question is, what did you learn? And they have to be able to say, I learned today that, and I can do this at home. So whenever you are prepared and you know what you're teaching those kids, you have to tell them and they have to repeat it back to you and say, today I learned that wisdom is going to be good for my life so I can follow Christ and I can make the wise choice and the right choice throughout my life. So number 1 was be present. Number 2, be prepared. Now our curriculum is very, very good at helping us out. On Sunday mornings, we have, the curriculum is called Orange from the video that you just watched. And we have an app. It makes it so easy. We have an app on our phones that you can have your lessons 1 week in advance. The next Monday, like today's Sunday, tomorrow you will have the lessons for next Sunday. Now that app, the Lead Small app, if you don't have it, you need to download it. But you should have it. And that app is so good because it tells you what to say, it tells you what to do, it even gives you a prayer. You don't even have to come up with a prayer, it just lays it out right there for you. It also has an overview. It tells you what we're going to be studying for the week, the Bible story. It's going to tell you what the life application is, what the bottom line is, and those children need to be able to go home and tell their parents, today I learned that I have to have wisdom before I leap. That was today's lesson. I have to have wisdom. So they have to go tell their parents what they learned, and then the conversation starts at home. That's how we partner with parents. When the parents ask them, what did you learn? They can tell them, I learned today about this, and then mom and dad can say, oh yeah, that's good. What about this? And what about that? And what about at school? And what about when you were your friends? And what about when you were hearing your brother? And that's when the conversations happen, and that's when the influence starts to grow from the church and the parents and the family together. So that's number 2. Awana makes it easy too. Awana is easy to know because they tell you the verses. It's just they just spit it out. And you have to make sure that they're not only reciting those verses, because there's some kids that have photographic memory, and they can read and then they can spit it out. You have to ask them, what does that mean? What does that word mean? If you ask them, what does sin mean? They're like, not sure. Well, that means that they can memorize the verse. They don't understand. They don't have it in their heart. So Awana makes it really easy for you to see how they're learning, when they're telling you the things that they're learning. How does it look in the nursery and in G-Safety? Well, in the nursery, it's very easy. You show up on time. We need to be prepared. You're going to be inside the nursery at 10:15. Why? Because parents won't drop off their babies in the nursery if they see that there's not enough help. It happened just a few weeks ago. There was a mom from here, she had her baby. She was walking to the nursery, and she looked in the nursery, and she's like, not today. Why? Because somebody wasn't there at 10:15. So you show up on time. That way the parents can go to church and they can learn and they can bring their wisdom and their knowledge to home and they can have these conversations with their children. What about checkout? You're there on time. You need to be at the counter at 9 o'clock. Why? Because you're the first face that people see when they walk into the door. They need to see a smile. They need to see they're welcome. They need to make sure that their children are going to be safe when they come to Grace Church and they drop their children off with us. So you be on time. So that was be present, be prepared, and number 3, be permanent. What does that mean? Don't quit! Don't quit! I know it's hard, but nothing worth having comes without a struggle. Children's ministry is hard, and you may have a tough Saturday night, and you want to just sleep in, and you don't want to come to church on Sunday and be with a 2-year-old wiping their noses. But you have to be present, you have to be prepared, and you have to be permanent. Don't quit, because this is the work that God told us to do. Go and make disciples. That's what he told us to do. That's what we need to do. Sometimes we walk through life feeling like this. Like that. You feel like, okay, I don't know where to go. Okay, I need somebody to help me out. Oh, it's hard. This life is hard. It is hard. Life is hard. Nobody said it was going to be easy, especially in children's ministry. But those children are worth fighting for. We need to win those children. We need to win those children. They are going to be the next generation that is going to live for Christ. Here in this room, the Martins, the Halls, the McCalls, the Garces, everyone in this room, all of your children, they're going to be the next generation. So we need to be here, and we don't need to quit. So, that was it. I need you to stand up right now and get all your resources from your Gatorades. And this is what we're going to do. Because we're going to win this game, guys. So we're going to do this. Be present. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Be present. Be prepared. Number 3. Be permanent. Okay, let's do it again. Now you got it, right? You know how to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, ready? Be present. Be prepared. Be permanent. Okay, I'm going to do this time. You do it by yourselves. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Be present. Be prepared. Be permanent. There you go. Now, right there you tables. Pull your hand in front of everybody. You know how you do it.
Okay, huddle.
And now you're going to say.
Huddle up. Come on.
Okay, what do you say? We are going to win the children of grace. Is that the one? How about winning? Okay?
Winning.
1, 2, 3.
Winning!
Again. Let's do it again now. Gkids. 1, 2, 3.
Gkids!
That's how we're going to do
Winners.
it.
I know what we said then. We said Gkids.
That's good. I have a couple of things that I want to mention to you guys. And these are very, very important for all of you to hear. One of them is the security of our children is the most important thing for us. The security of our children is very important. The security of your children is very important to us. There's 2 things that we need to do. And one of them is we have to make sure that the right children go to the right parent. Why am I saying this? Because we have a number of foster parents in our church. And it's a great ministry to have, but it also comes with some struggles. The struggle is that we cannot give those children to the wrong parent or to the parent sometimes. So, when they come and pick up the children, you have to make sure that you ask for the sticker. If you do not know the families, you have to ask for the sticker. It might seem awkward to ask for a sticker, but you have to. Check out people, checking people. You have to ask for the sticker. If you don't know the family, you have to ask for the sticker. Nursery, preschool, all of you, Awana, if you're at the curb, you have to ask for the sticker. You have to know who they're going to. There is one family that is a foster family here, and they come with their foster children. Now, the parents, the real parents of the children, they came to church on a Sunday morning. It just happened to be that the family, the foster family wasn't here. We don't know the intentions. I don't know the intentions of the real parents. But what if they would come and try to get the kids? We would be in deep There's another family. The mom came to church here at Grace with the baby, and she will leave the baby. Now the baby is not with the mom anymore. He is in foster care with a family of Grace Church. We cannot give the baby to the mom, even though she's the mom. But we have to address this because it's a very important issue. If we give the child to the wrong person, it's a big problem. So make sure that you ask for a sticker. It doesn't matter if you feel awkward and if you feel uncomfortable and you feel like, oh, I should know you, but I don't know you. Well, it doesn't matter. You ask them for the sticker because it's a big deal. So that's one. The other one is like, because of the nature of the world we live in right now, we have to start doing background checks on all of our volunteers. Everybody, 18 years and older, we have to do background checks. So now we were going to do them tonight here, but the company that we signed up with, they can do it electronically. So this is how it's going to work. I'm going to send you an email. If you're 18 years or older, I'm going to send you an email and you're going to do it on your computer. Please, please finish it. Do not procrastinate it because if not, I am going to hunt you down. Okay, and it takes a long time to hunt 89 people. So please, whenever you get that email, fill it out. Now the forms that you have at the table, they told me that you have to have those forms. The church is required by law that I have to give you those forms. Those forms talk about credit things. We are not going to pull your credit, okay? We are not going to see what credit score do you have. I promise you that is not the point. But they told me to send to give you those papers. So you have them, but in the form, when you get the email, just fill it out, and then the church is going to get the information that we need. If something's wrong, I will let you know, for sure. So that's how the background checks are gonna work. So if you're 18 years or older, I will send you an email. I want to know if you are receiving my emails. Please raise your hand if you do not receive my emails. Okay, can you please write down your email address and send it to me? Or just, I'll collect it at the end. So it's Alex and Amy, and who else raised their hand? Tara and Thad. Okay, and Miss Sandy. Okay. I will get your email address tonight, so you have it. So I will send an email to all of the Gkids team saying that background check email has been sent. So please go and fill it out. So please do that for me. Now, that was two things, and the third thing is the hoodies. We have new t-shirts. Yay! Yes. And we also have new hoodies. If you want a hoodie, this is for winter time, and they're really warm. I know it's hot right now, you don't want to think about putting something else on you because it's hot out there. But if you want a hoodie like this, you can purchase it for only $30. So, if you want one, talk to your coordinator. They will have a paper and you can get their sizes. I have a small, medium, large, extra large, and an extra, extra large if you want to try it on and see what size fits you better. So, this is Gkids hoodie, okay? Okay, so now we are going to dismiss into groups. We're going to have all of the Awana team staying in this room. And then Gkids, on Sunday mornings, we're going to be in the aisle. G-Babies, the nursery, is going to go down to the cafeteria. G-Pre-Kids is going to go to the 4 and 5-year-old classroom. And safety is going to go into the checking room right there. I have a table set up for us. Before we go, I just want to say thank you. I really, really thank you for doing the work that you are doing. Why? Because this is what we're called to do. God called us to go and make disciples, and this is what you're doing. So thank you so much for taking the time on Wednesday nights when you're tired, on Sunday mornings when you want to sleep in. Thank you for being here every time. So I appreciate you guys.